Across Australia, the wheels of industry turn 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. These machines are tough, and the teams of people running them are even tougher. But what happens when these massive machines break down?
That's the fun bit.
Teams of mechanics, engineers, fitters and boilermakers step up to battle against tight deadlines in some of the harshest working environments on the planet.
These are the optimum working conditions.
From deep underground, on the water, on the front line, to high in the sky, they do the vital repair work to keep these heavy metal wonders alive.
Planned out well, it turned out better.
This is Mega Mechanics. This time on Mega Mechanics. Some serious mechanical muscle is being flexed on the streets of Brisbane to relocate a tower crane.
The Y guys are spread out. That gives us our greater lifting capacity to be able to grab the machine deck. With them, we're good for 19, so it gives us a great advantage.
Working at great heights at 4 stories in hot, humid conditions are just the tip of the iceberg with this challenging gig.
The wind's just started to pick up a little bit, as it usually does when we lift something heavy.
In Brisbane, the Royal Flying Doctor Service maintenance team are going full throttle to get through a 5-day inspection.
There is generally a bit of pressure. We've got 6 or 7 guys on the floor getting it done.
With more than 1,000 patients relying on these planes every day, every nook and cranny is getting the once-over.
We're going to do a borescope on it as well to make sure that the insides of the engines are in good condition.
In Perth, a skilled team has to use their expert talents to assemble this massive 30-ton drill rig.
Well, we're not just mechanics here, we're riggers, lots of trades.
This team's got 2 days to connect 3 gigantic pieces.
We need to get it millimetre perfect so the bolts line up. We're going to have to use 2 cranes instead of 1.
It's a high-stakes manoeuvre.
Over $500,000 floating in the air up there, and we're bringing in the track carrier now, so we don't want to leave it up in the air for too long. Yeah, we wouldn't want this to hit. It could be an expensive collision.
Big fella's about to roll in. Here he is.
Righto, mate, hoist it up, nice and easy.
Oh, look at that sunrise, boys.
It's early morning in the capital of the Sunshine State, Brisbane. And in the heart of the CBD, the team from Lindores Construction Logistics are already on the go, high above the Queens Wharf development site and down at street level.
Today we're going to be pulling down one of our tower cranes and relocating it to a new position. We're bringing in our 350-ton crane to remove the larger parts of the crane. We need as much area as we can. Being in the city, it's very, very tricky to get this much lane closure. It takes about a month just to get the permits through.
Matt has the critical job of coordinating the operation from the ground, while floors above, his brother Nick is leading the dismantling process.
Well, the one we're pulling down right here, this has an actual 16-ton line pull capacity, so it can lift 16 tonne just with a single rope.
Channel 9. Yeah, you got me, Nick.
Communication is really a key process to what we're doing. If we're not talking, nothing will work.
The team will also have to contend with a number of issues if they are to ensure the operation goes as it should and stays on schedule.
Today's supposed to be super hot. Working on the road, it's always a challenge. We've got pedestrians, traffic control, police, truck drivers, so it should be interesting.
The goal for these 2 crews is to shift a Favel tower crane to another location on site to allow their client Multiplex to close off and complete the basement level. Before that can happen, the 350-ton mobile crane has to be assembled by the street-level crew. At the same time, the tower crew will begin dismantling the $1.5 million Favel crane, a multi-stage process that starts by removing the jib rope. Another tower crane will then hoist down the 45-metre-long jib, the 9-ton A-frame and the 9-ton engine. The mobile crane will then be used to lower the 11.5-ton machinery deck and finally sections of tower, including one underground. The teams will then reverse the process and reassemble the crane on the site's deck on top of a specially engineered grillage frame. The window for this job is short. The mobile crane is only permitted on the street for 12 hours, after which time they'll be blocking a main road in the city.
This thing takes about 2.5 to 3 hours set up by itself. So then I've got at least probably 4 hours of lifting, and then we've got 3.5 hours to pack it up and get it out of here before we need to open the roads back up.
While Matt and the ground crew assemble this $4 million workhorse, George, the four-legged foreman, is keeping an eye on things.
He's been all over the country, yeah. He's 14-year-old now, he's pretty tight life in the truck. Love it.
Meanwhile, 8 floors above, Nick and his team have over 100 metres of high tensile metal rope that controls the boom to run off.
We'll start luffing down in a minute, and Nick will secure the bridle out there on the boom so it can't go anywhere. And then we'll unreeve the crane.
Are you right if I luff down?
This is not a job for the faint-hearted, and crane operator Harry is very aware as to what's at stake.
At any one time you can have 4 guys out there. Their safety pretty much depends on what I do in here.
We're doing a detailed inspection on one of our 350s. It's quite a large check this week, so hopefully we can knock these engines off quick enough and then we can go and help everyone on the airframe.
Brisbane Airport, 17 kilometres from the CBD. Being close to the capital's hospitals makes it the perfect location for the Royal Flying Doctor Service.
We're based here in Brisbane, and so we fly up to Cairns, out to Mount Isa, but we also do retrievals down into northern New South Wales as well and bring them back up into Brisbane.
This King Air 350C is part of the 20-strong fleet that covers Queensland, a state that's 7 times the size of Great Britain.
I work in a flying hospital and you can't stand up in them, yet we can still give excellent patient care. They're landing on dirt strips, grass strips, landing on the road, and they do the job brilliantly. They're a great little aircraft.
Every time this 350C clocks up 400 flight hours, it must undergo a thorough inspection. While it's in the hangar, the team will check the Pratt & Whitney PT6A-60A turboprop engines. During this process, a borescope will visualise the interior of each engine to identify any wear and tear. The interior of the plane will be stripped of seats, stretchers and aeromedical equipment, plus the walls for a full airframe inspection and clean. This check includes all of the structures in the underfloor, plus the lines, pneumatics, hydraulics and electrics, such as the plane's avionics and radio. Ben, Matt, Jake and the rest of the team have exactly 5 days to complete their 400 hours inspection in order to get this aircraft back up in the air, saving lives.
Yeah, it's taken a while to get this little team together. There's some very unique skill sets here.
There is generally a bit of pressure. We've got 6 or 7 guys on the floor getting it done.
Ben and Matt, the engine team, have already started with their part of the inspection.
We'll go through all the fuel system, all the oil system, the props, and then we'll inspect the internals of the hot section.
I'm removing the fuel nozzles from the engine. They get replaced every 200 hours and they do a clean and flow check for them.
Just cleaning out the airframe filter, just to inspect for anything. Just making sure there's no excessive amounts of metal or paint or rubber or anything like that coming from the tanks.
For the cabin team, their first job is to gut the interior.
So we've got a underfloor and whole interior, structural and basically electrical, mechanical inspection. So all the trims, floor has to come out. So obviously this bottle and this frame here is in the way, so this has to come out. So we've just cracked the lines here attaching this there. We've just taken some of these out and we're just about to remove the oxygen bottle. With oxygen, you just got to make sure your hands and your tooling is all really clean, because you can't have any fuel or grease or anything like that on your tooling, because they just don't mix. So it's a catalyst for an explosion.
So today we're going to lift this rig base up and we're going to bring a track carrier in underneath. Just pretty much like a bulldozer or an excavator that uses tracks like a tank to go across really rough terrain.
Perth, Western Australia. This 30-tonne drill rig is in the final stages of assembly at the Australian Exploration Engineering Workshop.
We've been building rigs a long time here and I've done a lot of lifts, so we just take every lift slowly and safely.
This $2 million machine has been designed in-house.
We basically use this 3D software to produce all the models from scratch. Then we use this software to generate manufacturing drawings, which we will issue to the workshop and get it made in real life.
Known as an X350 drill rig, this beast is used for mining exploration. This one is destined to search for gold in Ghana. It will be able to source samples from a maximum depth of 350 metres. After months of drafting, boiler making and painting, it's now Dave's job to lead the final fitting. First, a gantry crane will hoist the 10-tonne rig base above the workshop floor to allow the track carrier to be driven in underneath. Once these two components are connected, the track carrier hydraulic system can be connected to the rig base. The gantry crane will then be used to hoist the 10-tonne rig mast above the rig base assembly. Once these two components are connected, the extensive hydraulic system can be connected. This consists of all the hydraulic hosing to power the drilling functions, including the drive head traverse and rotation functions. The team have 2 days to get these 3 massive sections in place. The deadline for final delivery is only 2 weeks away, which means the crew cannot afford any hold-ups.
We need to get it millimetre perfect so the bolts line up. So the key is just to get the rig lift really square at the start and it'll make things a lot easier later on.
The gantry crane is new and its maximum rated capacity is 10 tonne. So before the team commits to the lift, Dave tests its limits.
I'll go to the back now and we'll just see what happens. So at this point here, we've reached an anti-climax because the crane doesn't have the capability to lift it. It won't lift it, Dave. Nah.
To get over this early hurdle, Dave shifts into troubleshooting mode.
So we're going to have to use 2 cranes instead of 1.
He's got another trick up his high-vis sleeve.
So this machine has its own jack legs, which we use to level the rig up. Today's, it's got a different purpose. It's going to help us do our lift.
Finally, the new setup is ready to attempt to lift 10 tonnes of raw metal.
We don't want to be dropping $500,000 on the floor.
At any one time, you can have 4 guys out there. Their safety pretty much depends on what I do in here.
High above Brisbane CBD, a tower crane is being shifted to a new location at the Queens Wharf site by the team from Lindores Construction Logistics.
Oh, you got it! The ropes are part of the support structure and part of the lifting procedures, so we've gotten rid of all of those. And
to relocate it, a 350-tonne mobile crane has been brought in for the heavy lifts. They've got 10 hours left before their road closure permit runs out, so the ground and tower teams have got to keep up the pace.
next step is, now we're going to hit these 2 pins out. And the crane up there is going to take this part of the jib away.
The 8.5-tonne jib's free, and now the responsibility of the other crane driver, Justin.
Righto, Justin, keep going left for me, mate. Keep going left. And she's all yours, boys, on the ground. Yeah, it's all on Justin to be a drive as smooth as you possibly can to get it down to the ground.
The 5-tonne A-frame is the next component to go.
It's not a job for the faint-hearted, always with heights, long hours, heat.
I was trying to go soft so I didn't shoot out, but hey, here we are.
Yeah, go left while you're hoisting, mate. Left while you're hoisting.
Everyone good?
Yeah, mate.
Lovely.
Happy.
The team now focus on unbolting the crane's 12-ton power pack and removing the counterweights.
Leaving the hands, buddy. All yours. The chains that we currently have on are good for about, that'd be good for 7 ton each, 8 ton each. So, more than enough for what they're picking up.
Boys are ready now to remove the power pack, which is the engine, the winches, the main driving. They're going to drop that down on the ground.
There you go, buddy.
3 metres.
The 350-ton mobile has just completed setting up, so we can now utilise him to remove the 17-ton deck.
Y guys are spread out and the wires go all the way up to the tip of the boom. That gives us our greater lifting capacity to be able to grab the machine deck and put it down on the road to be ready to be tested. Without those, we're only good for about 9 tonne. With them, we're good for 19, so it gives us a great advantage.
After hours of setup in humid 33-degree heat, Jason, the mobile crane operator, is ready to take on the massive deck, the biggest lift of the day.
He actually went to Germany to pick the crane up and to learn from the Germans how to drive it, so he knows the machine inside out. So it's safe to say we got a lot of trust in him driving it.
Just send it, mate.
Righto, Chase.
We're just about to remove the oxygen bottle from the cabin. With oxygen, you just got to make sure your hands and your tooling is all really clean because you can't have any fuel or grease. It's a catalyst for an explosion.
Safety. It's central to every aspect of the work carried out in the Royal Flying Doctor Service maintenance hangar in Brisbane.
All good?
I know that the aircraft are really well looked after and well maintained. They're a great aircraft to fly in.
The team has 5 days to fully inspect this 350C. Any longer means the longer the aircraft is out of the fleet's rotation.
One pilot seat removed.
Outside, Matt's having a good look inside the left-hand engine.
So what I'm using is a boroscope, which is a little camera on a cord through a guide tube, which guides me into have a look at the compressor turbine and the nozzle guide vanes. So just checking for cracks and corrosion and segment curl. I'm almost the whole way around. So what we do is just take some photographs of any defects that we find internally, match them up with the manual to see whether it's an allowable limit.
Over in the right-hand engine, the $20,000 scope is earning its keep.
I'm carrying out a boroscope inspection on the hot section of the engine. You got to do that every 200 hours to make sure the engine's still serviceable and it's still going to make enough power.
When fully operational, these engines get this plane up to a maximum speed of 320 knots. That's 592 kilometres an hour. The team is hoping this engine will pass inspection with flying colours, as it's only 6 months away from its scheduled replacement.
This engine's due overhaul in a little less than 1,000 hours. It's still a fair way away.
Being able to get more life out of the engine would mean a potential saving of tens of thousands of dollars.
The camera is very microscopic though, so anything that we pick up on this camera, it's really not as large as what you think it is. When you pull the component out of the engine, you have a hard time finding it. The camera picks it up very well, magnifies everything.
Safety is always a priority, and where possible, so too is the bottom line. It's something the team do not want to magnify.
So I'm just about to do a test lift on the rig now. We've got the 2 cranes hooked up and we just want to make sure it can lift it easily. We don't want to be dropping $500,000 on the floor. No, that's good. Yeah, beautiful.
In Perth, some hardcore mechanical muscle is being flexed to get a 30-ton drill rig assembled in 2 days by the Australian Exploration Engineering team.
The next step now is to go get the track carrier in position, ready to bring it in underneath. This is what we used for the clients that need something to go on rough terrain. The track carrier that could climb up mountains, I mean, it can be used on excavators or bulldozers, so this can go anywhere.
The crew use a hydraulic power pack to make this 10-ton component crawl from point A to point B.
My only concern right now is this pipe here. We've just got to make sure we get the height on the lift to be able to clear over this pipe.
They need a gap of at least 1.5 metres.
We're about to lift the rig base up and make sure we've got enough height to clear that pipe, and then we'll bring the track carrier underneath. Okay, you ready to go, Dave, at the back? Right, I'll follow you, Dave. Yep. I'm just trying to keep the rig level with the jack legs at the back because they're not quite as fast as the crane. So I'm just going to take it easy and keep it level. We're just about at full travel.
The crew have got to keep the pace up, as all work must be completed in 2 weeks, when this beast is due to be shipped to West Africa.
You reckon it'll fit? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Over $500,000 floating in the air up there, and we're bringing in the track carrier now, so we don't want to leave it up in the air for too long. We wouldn't want this to hit. It could be an expensive collision.
Getting this right means a bit of trial and error.
We'll have to come back and just bring it over a touch. Okay, stop there. Just turn it a little bit. Head that way. I think when that comes down on the angle, that'll line up pretty well. The carrier fit in underneath the base nicely with plenty of room to spare, so that's a bonus. Now we're just lowering it down onto the carrier and hopefully it lines up.
Lining up 20 tonnes of machinery depends on keen eyes and excellent crane control skills.
It's really crucial we get this alignment square. It is very difficult to get it perfect using the hydraulics, but we'll see how we go.
It's close, but close doesn't cut it.
So we're just having our second bite at putting the carrier under here just to get it really square because we don't have any room for error. So the rig base is down and the holes line up. We've hit it spot on. Happy days.
But a final check shines a light on a big problem.
This is going to add a couple of hours' work.
Hello, Chase.
It's an adrenaline-pumping job, dismantling cranes at the Queens Wharf construction site alongside the Brisbane River.
We're going to land it here on the road, and then we're going to get the crack tester to go over it, make sure everything's safe so we can put it back up this afternoon.
This $4 million mobile crane was brought in by Lindores Construction Logistics to help relocate a tower crane.
So we take a lot of time into actually checking what's underneath the ground before we set the mobile crane up. We do DCP testing and also like a dial before you dig to make sure there's no stormwater or anything else underneath the road that could potentially have a hazard for the crane to fall over if it punches through the ground by putting down too much weight.
In less than 8 hours, this 350-tonne monster must be packed up and gone before the road closure permit runs out. So the pressure's on for Nick and his tower crew.
And now we're going to go for towers. We've got 4 sets of these, and there's 4 base plates down in the bottom. These towers, these ones would be 3.5 tonne each.
With the last of the tower sections above ground removed, it's time for the team to go underground.
Sorry. Yeah, basement 4 on the last bit, pull the last tower out.
But the crew have struck trouble. One thing you can't stop falling on a construction site is rain.
It fills up the water down here. You just can't get to it.
With the water making it difficult to access the bolts, the longer they wrestle with them, the greater the impact on the schedule. the rattle gun, spanner and elbow grease finally win.
We had a couple of tight bolts in the corner, so what Nick did is he rattled them with the weight of the tower and the crane, and as he rattled it loose, it rises. So we only had 2 sticky ones, and yeah, they popped free.
Now the whole section's free, it's floated to its new home on top of a grillage frame on the deck.
The engineers have designed this steel structure, which is bolted down through columns which go down 3 levels. And once we fully erect the crane onto this grillage frame, it will be supporting a self-weight about 140 tonnes.
With tons of metal hovering above their fingers, the crew have 4 massive pinch points to avoid.
Just come down the cut.
Everything hinges on how fast these towers go up. Any hold-ups, and the crane company will have hell to pay for overstaying their welcome on the busy thoroughfare below. For one member of the team at the Royal Flying Doctor Service in Brisbane, working in the aviation industry seems to run in the family. At just 26, Ben already has over 10 years of experience, thanks to a little inside help.
Yeah, so Mum and Dad have been involved in aviation for 38 years and refurbishing aircraft around Australia and internationally as well. So I grew up floating around the paint shop side of things, and I did my apprenticeship through a paint shop, but then soon realised that I enjoyed the engineering aspect as well. So I jumped from the painting side to the engineering side. Also enjoy that a little bit more.
Apart from keeping the fleet in top condition, the maintenance team at the Royal Flying Doctor Service do what they can to make sure every dollar counts.
And that's it done.
And the prognosis is good.
That engine doesn't have to be split, which is good, so we can continue on with our inspection. I was just waiting to hear back about what the go was with that engine, whether we have to pull it apart or not, and we don't, so it's all good. Jake and Paul have been inside pulling the interior apart, so they had to inspect the pressurised section of the aircraft. Hopefully it should be all assembled back tomorrow, which is good because that's generally one of the largest checks that we have to do.
Cord it down here a bit so you don't snap that off there and that.
The aircraft's only 4 years old, mate, so yeah, we shouldn't really be finding too many things wrong with it, so yeah.
The team now have 4 days left to complete the 400-hourly inspection. If this plane's not airborne by Friday, there'll be 1 less aircraft available for the busy weekend rotation. Thankfully, Jake and Paul have made good progress with inspecting the interior of the plane.
That all went back in pretty smoothly, everything all done. Then we did some oxygen functional checks. So just making sure that because we pulled off a bunch of oxygen lines, and they're very important for the aeromedical system, so we made sure that they were all completely back on, no leaks, all functioning correctly.
Now that's ticked off, the plane's medical oxygen system can be replenished.
Each aeroplane has its own setup. The 350s, the refill points on the bottom here. So oxygen replenishment's something we try and do at the end of this check when there's not much else going on. It's not a dangerous event, but it's very important that the area is kept free of any oils, grease, dirt and any other hydrocarbons. I've been swinging spanners on aeroplanes for the best part of 20 years. There's always something that comes in that you haven't seen or haven't seen for a while. So there's lots of variety. And it's also really nice to see when they're unloading the patients and loading patients to go backwards and forwards in and out of Brisbane that you're really making a difference to people's quality of life. I think a lot of people come to work for the Royal Flying Doctor Service for that reason.
Up in the cockpit, the navigation system's getting some attention.
The nav database has to be updated every 30 days for all changes or mountains to just the geographics. That's a wait, it's a load through the DBU and no faults. No faults is a good sign. Happy days.
Outside, the news is not so great with the nose landing gear.
Jake, you out of the way?
Yeah.
Are you out of the way?
Yep.
You clear?
Clear. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Yep. Thank you.
little bit too loose.
That's wrong, my brother.
The welds on the track carrier frame from what you might have seen earlier are actually hitting on the chassis of the rig base. If we can't get these two faces to mate together, then we can't get the bolts through the holes. I mean, this is going to add a couple of hours' work. I mean, we're already ready to bolt the rig down, and now we're going to have to take it off again.
Underneath a 10-ton drill rig base, a small weld is causing a major setback for the team at Australian Exploration Engineering. They've got 2 days to join 3 major components, and any delays will impact their final delivery in 2 weeks.
We're going to just chuck the gantry crane back on the rig and actually try and lift the carrier frame up under the base. So just try and squeeze the two together a bit more, using the weight of the machine to hold it in position. We've got a bit of a gap here between the rig base and the track carrier. So what we want to do is try and close that gap down so we can get the bolts through. No, it's closed it a little bit, but not enough.
After hours of effort, they're back to square one.
See there, the rig was just hitting on that weld there, so we just need to remove that bit of weld, give it a touch up with some paint, and we should be able to get this base to fit properly. Huge sparks.
An expensive issue solved by an angle grinder.
It's taking us a few hours, but yeah, we've got there in the end. All the dangerous part of the job is all done. It's all safe, so now we can rest a bit easier, and next thing is just bolt it all down.
While the bolts get rattled in, Michael gets the hydraulic hose crimper going.
The hydraulics on this machine are quite important to get right. Out in the field, this will have hundreds of metres of rods spinning off the drill head, so we've really got to get it right.
When the crew is done, the rig will be plumbed with over 2,000 metres of hose.
Pretty important that all the adapters and tails and ferrules are done up tight so we don't have any leak points. If we get a little pinhole leak in this, and we have 3,000 PSI coming out of that, it can cause you a serious injury.
That's the first of many sections to be stacked as the team from Lindores Construction Logistics work to relocate a massive tower crane on the Queens Wharf development site. They've got less than 6 hours of hard slog in high temperatures to get some mega lifts done and get their mobile crane out of the way and off this busy city street.
Boys got the mount up and they're 350 tonne of relocating the deck to go back up. Very difficult lift, this one. That's why the boys have followed with a tagline. The wind's just started to pick up a little bit, as it usually does when we lift something heavy.
Strong wind and 17 tonnes of steel. Not an ideal mix, but it doesn't faze Matt.
I've been doing this for about 16 years, and family, I'll come up from my old man was doing it. I've pretty much just been born into it, and I just love playing with big cranes.
Above, his brother Nick and the crew are ready to catch the machinery deck.
Keep laughing. How fast, Ben? There you go, laugh.
Good for now, mate. Just hoist down. We'll get a hand on that ladder and then we'll square you up a bit.
Keep hoisting down, mate. The bag is about 2 metres out of my hand.
Bag is in the hand, mate.
Good communication is key to lining this monster up.
Last little bit of luck here, Jedi.
Keep hoisting down now, mate. Hoisting down. Hold that. Hoist down, please. Hoist down. Grease line's good.
Quick hands get the bag full of slew ring bolts in.
Keep going up, mate. We'll line up with last four. Who wants them? And up. Good, buddy.
We're going to the tower pack now, and then we are packing up.
First, the tower crane's counterweights need to be swung back into place.
Keep coming, mate. Height is getting warm, height is good, coming right. Hose down when you're ready, mate.
The ground crews send their 12-ton package skywards.
Good pace, Big J's coming round, looking good.
It's good for now, but a strong gust could change that in an instant.
Stop.
That's too long.
That's
A little bit too loose.
that's wrong, my brother.
A small part is causing big problems with the nose landing gear during this King Air 350C 400 hourly inspection.
So the floating bushes for the bolt is slightly too long and we need shorter ones, otherwise we can't fit the bolt.
It's a hold-up the Royal Flying Doctor Service maintenance team can't afford, with just over a day left to get this plane signed off and back in the air.
Oh, split pin it? Yeah, split pin it. Yeah. We just put the old stuff back in it so we can go out and do our engine rigging tomorrow morning, and then hopefully we get those bits tomorrow afternoon, and that'll be the last thing.
A visit from the fuel truck gets the last of a 5-day job going.
We noticed a few engine rigging discrepancies on the left-hand side, so we're going to run it there this morning and try and adjust them and just fine-tune it that little bit better. You can only sort of just do what you think in the hangar for the best corrective action, but yeah, you really need to be out there doing some runs and figuring out which way it's going to go.
First, they call air traffic control to assign them a taxiway.
Fine. So I've got Fox 4 for us.
Just starting the right engine first. Wait for that to settle. There we go. So in the forward range, moving forward, I think this one releases about 75. Is that a release then?
Sound low.
It's releasing too early now, so then we've got to adjust that pedestal. That was at about 66. That one's 74. So they're way off. That's going to skew them off when they go to take off.
Ooh, that is spicy.
Tests to see if the engines are balanced have shown that the team needs to do further adjustments.
We're doing a flight idle torque adjustment. We're just increasing that screw there because that adjusts that beta valve, and it either goes in or it goes out to increase, in to decrease. Just going to try and get the engines the same because that's the first adjustment you want to get correct before you start doing your low idle and high idle checks. That first adjustment is like your main one, and then you can start setting everything up from there.
Adjustments made and cowls go back on, as do the engines. It's now crunch time.
That went a bit turned for the worst, didn't it? On this drill rig, we've got about 2,000 metres of hose on the machine. If we get a little pinhole leak in this, and we have 3,000 PSI coming out of that, it can cause you a serious injury. It could cut through you like a hot knife through butter.
In Perth, the Australian Exploration Engineering team have one more day to get the 3 main parts of a 30-ton, $2 million drill rig connected.
And today we're going to get this mast on. So this is the business end of the rig.
This image is showing you what it looks like when the mast raise cylinders have actuated and they're at full extension. And you can see here they've pivoted the mast up to 90 degrees, ready to commence drilling.
This does all the work. This does all the torsional stress, takes all the load, does all the drilling. We've got over 7,000 Newton metres on the drive head, so we've got to make sure this mast is strong.
Turning what's on screen into a reality is what this crew do. Shifting 9 tons of metal takes nerves of steel. If the chains fail, the crew below would be crushed.
I'll just go north a touch. I can't go much more, you'll be off the dump plate. The back end down. is. That was it. She's in. So the boys are just lining up all the plates and trying to get all the bolts down through the holes. There's plenty of them to do. We're home now, but not hosed.
A vital section, the dump cylinder, needs to be hooked up, then lined up.
When the rig puts the mast up, the dump cylinder allows the mast to come down and touch the ground, making it secure when they're drilling. Keep going. Stop. Let's go back a touch. Back a touch. Other way. Stop.
This hole is where a vital piece of this gigantic puzzle will go.
Yeah, so this pin's crucial here. This will accommodate for a lot of the force which is being transferred through this dump cylinder, which is responsible for sliding the mast vertically up and down.
So this is the dump cylinder pin. We've had it in the freezer overnight just to reduce its overall size. We're hoping that will help with assisting in installing it. And that is home. The sense of accomplishment from building something from scratch. So we start out with a bundle of steel turning up, and at the end of the day, we turn out a working machine. Is pretty satisfying. Now we've dumped it up, we know the cylinder's got the load of the mast, we can now take the cranes off, job done.
All right, Shane.
Stop. Hold. You got me still, Jace?
Yeah, mate.
No, mate, hoisting down. Hoisting down.
You've got to be really switched on in this game. Everything's well over 10 tonnes, so you're using big machinery, heavy loads.
High above the Queens Wharf site in Brisbane, blasts of wind are causing havoc for the team from Lindores Construction Logistics in the midst of landing a 12-tonne power pack on top of a crane they've just relocated.
And hold that. Stop. Little lefty, please, mate. Little lefty. All bolts in.
Yeah, mate, all 4 of mine are in. Down you go.
Righto, Jace, hoist down, please, mate. Coming off us. We're now at the stage where we're finished with the 350 tonner, so he can start his pack up.
It's a job that usually takes 3 hours, and with only 4 hours left on the road permit, the street crew has to motor. High above, it's just as hectic.
What we're going to do is put the last 2 counterweights in, and then we're going to put the A-frame on, and by that time Harry will have the power pack hooked up. We'll have all our functions like go left, go right, jib up, jib down, and hoist up, hoist down.
Multitasking on multiple levels. Time isn't the only thing these brothers know how to juggle. Down on the deck, Matt's rigging the boom for its return flight.
So obviously the bigger boom, the different pick points. So for this particular boom, it's here. All right, mate. Maintaining radius, hoisting up. Just starting to float, mate. Nice and easy now.
What's that, right?
Tiny jib up with it, Juddy. Yeah, jib's good, mate. Steady.
Keep coming, mate. Metre till you're touching the clevises. Are you in?
That was solid. I can't believe how well that went in.
Now that we've got the jib in, we're going to have to run the ropes back through, and then we'll run the hoist rope out, which hangs onto the hook, which lifts all the loads, and then we'll have a beer.
The promise of a cold one spurs the crew on.
We've got a great team, mate. We're very professional with the mobile crane operator. He was watching our backs every step of the way. And also, just another good set of eyes to make sure everything's safe. You know? Time-wise, it's 1:30. We've already got the crane back up, and the fitters are up there now commissioning it and getting it crane safe ready so it can go back to work first thing Monday morning. Mate, no, we had no hiccups, which is very good.
Experience.
And experience, mate. Having the right people doing the right job. And I believe there's a fair few beers on ice.
Definitely. You reckon?
Oh, yeah, 5, buddy.
That went about turn for the worst, didn't it? On the right is 32. We're 35 on the left. I've switched. That's got too much torque now.
On a taxiway at Brisbane Airport, the Royal Flying Doctor Service maintenance team are busy, balancing the engines on a King Air 350C.
I'll go half. So I just hit a full turn, so that'll put us back to where we were. And if I go half, that should bring us closer.
It's Friday, and they've got this shift to complete a 400-hourly inspection. After 5 days in the hangar, and with a busy weekend ahead, the aeromedical crews need it back in the sky.
Want to go up?
We're on to our next bit, which is the dead band, so where the fuel starts picking up in the forward and the reverse range. Benny's just adjusting it, and hopefully we can get it going. And we'll take it up for full power runs to make sure that our leaders match up the top end for the pilots.
These vital tweaks take a lot of trial and error.
You need to shorten it, so you just wound it in. You need to wind it out, but just a touch, not much at all.
About a quarter of a turn.
Quarter of a turn, okay. We'll see how we go. I've got to give a little bit more on the left than I do on the right.
So just loosen the aft one first, and then just tighten the forward one.
With 4 hours to spare, the trio have nailed it.
Adjusting's not always straightforward. Sometimes you can adjust a large amount and you'll get a small change, and sometimes you can adjust a small amount and get a large change. So you've got that marriage between the two, but we found that fine balance and it came in. As the engine runs are complete now, we're happy that we were able to get this one out sooner than expected. Now this bird can get back out online and the pilots and nurses can go and rescue some more people in need, so it's great.